In this video, we're building a Southern style hand-painted sideboard cabinet using vanity legs and dimensional lumber from Osborne. Stay tuned for a full tutorial. Hand-painted furniture used to be a very popular design style in the American Southeast, often featuring detailed scenes and unique artwork. In this video, we wanted to create a similar sideboard cabinet that you would see during that time period with the help from a local artist. To get started with this project, we can rip some 3/4 inch plywood down to use for our sides and backboard. The dimensions for this project will be 40 inches wide by 18.5 inches deep and utilize a 35.5 inch vanity leg. If you're interested in creating something similar, you can check out the dimensional lumber and vanity legs from Osborne in the link below. For the front of the cabinet, we decided to go with solid maple as the wood species using the 5/4 lumber from Osborne. We'll be using inset cabinet doors for this project so that the front is perfectly flat for the artist to paint on. To do this, we'll use the 5/4 lumber and rip it down to its final width to make a face frame for the front board. Once the lumber is cut to size, we can bring it over to the benchtop planer in order to plane it down to its final thickness of 3/4 of an inch. To connect the face frame, we're going to be using wood dowels to help with alignment during assembly. First, we need to mark out the location for the dowels, then we can use a doweling jig and a drill bit to pre-drill the holes. If you're interested in a more in-depth tutorial on how to install wooden dowels, you can check out this video above. Next, we can add some wood glue to each of the holes, install the wood dowels, and connect all of the rail and frame pieces together using some wood clamps. While the face frame is drying, we can go ahead and assemble the rest of the cabinet box. For our project, we decided to use some brad nails and wood glue for assembly on the box, but you can use pocket holes or miters if you prefer. Once the side and bottom pieces have been attached, we can add some wood glue to the back of the frame and install our backboard once again using some brad nails. Since the entire cabinet will be painted, we decided to install the face frame the same way using brad nails through the front. However, if you are standing your cabinet and don't want to fill nail holes on the front of your project, you can use alternative attachment methods like pocket holes for this assembly. The final step for the face frame was just to flush trim using a handheld router to match the cabinet box. Next, we're ready to attach our vanity legs to the cabinet box, and the easiest way to do this is to use a 1/4 notched leg for installation. If you're using your own vanity legs for your project, you can 1/4 notch using a table saw at home. However, if you're looking to save some time, you can order your vanity legs with a 1/4 notch service from Osborne. The leg we chose for this project is a reeded vanity leg part 322777 on our website. This leg is a dedicated vanity leg that will arrive already 1/4 notched when you order. Now that our cabinet box is assembled, we can move on to the cabinet doors that we created using some 5/4 lumber from Osborne. We'll cut the panels to their final size, making sure to account for a slight reveal on the inside of the frame to avoid any interference. To correctly install the hinges for the inset cabinet doors, we needed to add a mounting cleat on the backside of the face frame that will allow us to mount the hinges for a flush fit door. This installation process will vary slightly depending on the cabinet hardware that you use, so keep that in mind when selecting yours. We chose a soft close hardware for these doors, so we will need to mark out the location on the back side of the door panels that we can pre-drill using a Forstener bit and a drill press. If you don't have access to a drill press, you can use a hand drill. However, it is recommended to use a cabinet hinge mounting jig to safely make the cut. To install the hardware onto the cabinet, we can mark out and pre-drill the locations onto our mounting cleat, and then carefully install the mounting plate using the supplied hardware. To install the door hardware, we can place it into the pre-drilled hole and use the supplied wood screw. As I mentioned, this installation may vary depending on the brand and cabinet hardware that you're using, so be sure to always use the manufacturer instructions when installing onto your project. Once the hardware is installed, we can test fit the doors and adjust the fit using the adjustment screws on the cabinet hardware. Now that our cabinet is fully assembled, we're taking it to a local artist who used to hand paint custom furniture here in the Southeast.
What's special about having painted furniture like this?
Well, there's not much room for error, for one thing, but you can make a mistake and wipe it off and then start over, but it's just unique. There's not a lot of people that do it.
How popular did this style used to be?
Oh, it's very popular. It's one of our favorite pieces to paint, and it sold the best. We had a few more that sold really well. Noah's Ark, it was my absolute favorite, and I loved it. But yes, this is a very popular piece.
Now that the cabinet has been finished, we can add a coat of stain to the top and the wooden doorknobs that we're using. This is a custom tabletop from Osborne and red oak that we thought would pair nicely with the rest of the cabinet while staying true to the authentic theme of the build. For the doorknobs, we chose the traditional wood knob from Osborne Part 30010. These are available in multiple wood species to match your project and can install easily with the supplied hardware. First, we need to mark out the location on the cabinet doors that we want to install the knobs, making sure to not interfere with the artwork. Next, we can pre-drill a hole in the location using a drill bit that is slightly larger than the supplied machine screw. To install the knob, you can insert the machine screw into the pre-drilled hole and tighten using a screwdriver. Once complete, the cabinet doors can be reinstalled and readjusted if needed. The final step for the cabinet doors is to add a magnetic catch on the backside of the frame to keep the doors flush. These can be sourced from your local hardware store and typically install using a simple wood screw. Just be sure to pre-drill any holes as these screws are very small and can strip easily. Once assembly is complete, the final step for the project is to attach the top to the cabinet box. Make sure the top is centered for the proper overhang and use your desired attachment method. We chose pocket holes for this project, but you can adjust this depending on your preferences. Thank you for joining us for this special episode of the Builder Studio. If you're interested in any of the parts used in this build, be sure to check them out in the links below. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment, and we'll see you next time in the Builder Studio.